These 7 numbers determine how much you can get from Social Security for the rest of your life. Most people preparing to retire know only 2 of them. At the end of the video, you'll see why claiming at the wrong age costs a married couple 6 digits, and why the break-even age calculation that almost all retirees rely on is one of the most misleading mathematical problems in retirement plans. Let's start with the numbers that quietly control everything. It is called your PIR, your primary insurance amount. Forget your name. Important, Social Security averages inflation-adjusted income for the first 35 years to 1 menstrual period, and then calculates the figure through a 3-level formula. For those eligible for 2025, these grades will replace 90% of your highest average monthly income of $1,226, followed by 32% or more of all income between $1,226 and $7,391. That is it. That is the whole formula. The first thing it tells you is something most retirees never realize. The system is heavily biased toward low-income people. If you spend your career making money, you don't get twice as much when you compare checks to colleagues who make half the money. Not even close. That is the real math. Your PIR is the number you get at retirement age. If you were born in 1960 or later, 67, if you were born between 1955 and 1959, the number is 66 to 2 months, 66 to 10 months, depending on your year of birth. It was the first time retirees had miscalculated. They thought they could claim earlier. Here is what happened. For the first 36 months, Social Security will reduce your monthly benefits claimed in advance by 5/1%. Every other month since then, the index has fallen another 5/1%. Let us look at the numbers. If your full retirement age is 67 and you file a claim at 62, the earliest possible age, you need to file a claim 60 months in advance. It was a permanent 30% decline. You don't get 95%. You don't get 85%. You earn 70 cents a dollar for the rest of your life and for the rest of your surviving spouse's life. If your full retirement age is 66, you still have to pay 25% at 62. This is what nobody talks about, the basis for every future cost of living adjustment. 2.8% Coke on the market in 2026, always 2.8% of the smaller number. The gap will not close over time. It is back. Now, flip math. If you wait past the full retirement age, Social Security pays you so-called deferred retirement credits. For people born in 1943 or later, almost all retirees watch the film. The annual credit limit is 8% until age 70, nothing after 70. Credit cards stopped. So let's stack it up. If your full retirement age is 67, and we compare your 62-year-old claim to your 70-year-old claim, you LLC 70% personal income tax, not 124%. A 70-year check is 77% larger than a 62-year check. The same person, the same earnings record. The only variable is when the switch is pressed. That is where the famous break-even analysis comes in, with 90% of retirees actually making math mistakes. The standard saying is, if you apply at age 62, you get smaller checks, but more checks. And if you wait until age 70, you get bigger checks, but fewer checks. AARP standard comparison shows a break even between filing a claim at age 62 and filing a claim at age 78 and 67, about 8 months old. Vanguard study of people ages 62 and 70 shows that the median break even is about 80. Retirees looked at the numbers and thought, well, I may not live that long. I'll take the money now. That is the problem with the idea. Today, a 65-year-old man is expected to live to about 84, according to the actuarial table itself. A 65-year-old woman, about 87. Most 62-year-olds can make ends meet. They bet on math. But the bigger mistake is to see Social Security as an investment, not insurance. Boston University Retirement Research Center has repeatedly called an 8% deferred retirement credit the best deal in town because there is no other place to buy a guaranteed inflation-adjusted income stream that allows you to pay an additional 8% a year for waiting. The real question isn't, will I break even? It is, what happens if I live to 90 and lock in a smaller check-in at 62? Another thing retirees almost never care about, what happened to your spouse? For high earners, the maximum spousal benefit is 50% of the PIA. Survivors receive up to 100% of the deceased's actual income, including any deferred retirement credit. Read it again. If the higher earner of a couple files a claim at age 62 and locks in 70% of the personal income tax, it is the legacy of their surviving spouse for the rest of their lives. If the same person is delayed to age 70 and locked at 124%, survivors will inherit more. For a couple whose wife lives 10 years longer than her husband, it is common for the rest of a decision to be worth tens of thousands of dollars a year. Now, let me tell you a few more retiree math surprises. The first is the earnings test. If you apply and continue to work before full retirement age, $1 of Social Security will be deducted for every $2 you earn more than $24,480 in 2026. Most people think the money is gone. Unlikely. Once you reach full retirement age, Social Security recalculates those months and adds them to your account in the form of a higher monthly check. Fine is actually an extension, but few knew that, so they panicked and claimed they were wrong. Second, the tax trap. Once your temporary income, that is your other income plus half your benefits, exceeds a certain threshold, you can tax up to 85% of Social Security benefits. For individual filers, taxes start at $25,000 and the 85% rate is higher than $34,000. The couple offered $32,000 and $44,000 respectively. Here is what should make you angry. Those thresholds were set in 1983 and 1993. They never considered inflation, not once. That is why a growing number of middle-class retirees pay taxes on benefits they consider exempt. The third, one that keeps people awake at night, is trust. The 2025 Trustee report predicts that the OASI Trust used to pay retirement benefits will be exhausted in 2033. Some analysts believe that the Consolidated Trust will withdraw in 2034, a year later. If Congress does nothing, the coming payroll tax will still cover about 77% of planned benefits, meaning about 23% automatic cuts. Many retirees use that as a reason to file claims at age 62. take it before I disappear, but it is calculation. The 70-year-olds who cut 23 to 124% across the board still earn 70% more per month than the 62-year-olds who did not cut at all. Even in the worst case, procrastination is still a winner for most people. Let me give the Social Security Bureau as real numbers for 2026. Retired workers now earn an average of $2,071 a month. The maximum possible benefit at full retirement age is $4,152, $62 up to $2,969, $70, $5,181. That is the difference of $2,212 a month, more than $26,000 a year between the earliest possible age and the latest possible age. For life, Coke is compounded at the top. Yet, in 2024, 23.3% of women and 22% of men said they were 62, according to Social Security's own data. It remains the most popular single claim age in the United States. The average age of applicants has climbed to around 65. But for people born in 1960 or later, it is 2 years before the age of full retirement, 5 years before the age at which math is truly maximized. That is the bottom line, and that is what I want you to bring. The 7 numbers that determine your Social Security check are your first 35 years of income, your 2 inflection points, your full retirement age, the deductions you claim in advance. The 8% credit you defer, the tax threshold frozen since the 1980s and 1990s, and the survivors' benefits your spouse will inherit. Almost every retiree knows 1 or 2 of them. If you put these 7 things together, that is why 90% of retirees make math mistakes. Not because they are not good at numbers, but because the system is designed so that the obvious choices are almost never the same as the best ones. Run your own number. Look at your own health, your spouse's age, other income and taxes. The correct age to apply is not 62, 67, or 70. No matter how old you are, these 7 numbers are good for you and not bad for you. Because once you open it, math is locked in for the rest of your life and the rest of your spouse's life.